welcome back. Boy, did we have a good week at the auctions. This is going to be a little later project, but this is a 2005 Lexus RX 330. Picked it up out of Lafourche Parish. It is, other than having been aggressively smoked in, not bad at all. 214,000 miles, little dent in the bumper, but really, really nice. I want to say these are probably later model wheels. They're 18s. I don't think they came with 18s in 05. She runs and drives, needs a little bit of work, so maybe I'll get my Honda back. Got that real cheap, because it wasn't necessarily described terribly well, and they only had 3 pictures from the outside of it in the auction. But for today's video, we're going to get to this thing later. Today's video is for this thing. Seriously. That is a high-power television transmission antenna. It is, and it came with all of this giant iron, all galvanized. This thing came out of Rain, and it was used by the Louisiana Public Broadcasting Company to transmit television. They upgraded it about a year ago. It's been sitting as the world's biggest fire ant nest built into it, so it's still full of fire ants. But I bought this for $100. They had it up for like $500. A couple of times it ran through the auction, but it didn't sell. Nobody bid on it, and then I saw it for $100, and I looked it up. They put the model number. I found the site of the people that make the thing, and they were, very good about giving you all the specs and everything about how it transmits and what it does, but they didn't give you any inclination or inkling about what's in it or how it's constructed. So I wasn't willing to take the $500 gamble, because I couldn't find a weight, couldn't find anything. It's about 30 feet long, and near as I can tell, it is at least 2,000 pounds, if not close to 3,000. I was able to use the winch to get it on a trailer, but man, I cannot lift one end of it right now. It's pretty impressive. I've looked, this was the bottom of it. No, this was the bottom. It's got a little hole here. So down in it you can kind of see it's not full of stuff. But yeah, we're gonna scrap this thing, and so that's gonna be today's video, cleaning this thing up and then blowing all these bolts apart, because it looks like it's very modular. It's just bolted flange connections. Should be able to come apart pretty easy. We're gonna get that ready to go to the scrapyard. I'm excited a little bit because this entire elbow, and I think all the way down to here, is copper. And you'll see it a little better once I blow the mud out of it. This is a gigantic coax connection. That's all this thing is a coaxial cable. I got to give a shout out to Carl from the Louisiana PBS. He was really cool helping me get this loaded, gave me a little tour of the transmission station. It was really neat seeing inside of it, and how this thing all works. This was, I don't remember exactly, I think he said 100-something thousand watts that it would transmit. Seems to be directional based on these plastic covers. Yeah, she's pretty darn impressive. And so, yeah, I'm gonna go get the power. I'm gonna get the second project out of the way. I'm gonna get the power washer, gonna blow the ants off of this thing, and then we're gonna get some power tools and start blowing it apart and separating the materials. Seems to be some stainless. This stuff here looks like stainless. Fasteners all look to be stainless. A lot of galvanized steel, big heavy stuff. That's probably 1/2 inch. That stuff there, the iron is 3/8 and 1/2 inch wall. big, heavy stuff. That's probably 1,000 pounds worth of iron. Pretty wild to think this thing is, 1,000 feet up in the air hanging off the side of a tower to transmit. Very, very cool. So, all right, well, I don't know what's in it. The company that makes it doesn't tell me what's in it. So we're going to find out what's in it. And then we're going to see what we can do with this monster. So we'll be back after I blast it off. All right, the old Sun Joe put in some work. And seems like we got a few different sizes. I'm going to start with these plastic panels. Those look to be 11s or maybe 7/16. Tried taking one off here just for grins, and of course galvanic corrosion twisted it off. Looks like the stainless is going to be a little bit more aggressive in that than I had hoped. So I'm going to start taking some of that apart and see what we come up with. Yeah, that's definitely stainless. Broken one there, I think when I dragged it on the trailer. Give me ant nest so I can stand in. Yeah, that one broke off. That's aluminum. Oh, yeah. Try to stay out of those guys. Hard to see. That looks like a copper core in there. I don't know what this stuff all is. It's held on with different screws. We're gonna find out. Oh, that may just be a pipe, a hollow pipe. I'm kind of hoping it's not, but that's probably hollow. How good you can see that in there. That's exciting. All right, yeah, and that's kind of what I thought. These are actually stabilizing pins. You can see them in there. They go and hold it centered. And that's what those are for. All right, that's really cool. Yep, a little bit more mud. They blast it off again. Oh, that's excellent. That is really good. Okay, well, you see what it looks like taking screws off. I'm gonna blow the rest of these covers off and we'll be back. Yeah, a lot more of these broke, but ants are still kind of angry. Yeah, all up in there. This is gonna be entertaining. So we're gonna roll this over and pop that other cover off and then give it another blast. Try to evict some more of those little demons. But yeah, looking good. Looking real good. Yeah, she's awkward. A little heavy to get it up on those blocks, and then because of that thing sticking out and these ends being not quite clocked in the same manner. He's a little difficult to set up. But now we're here, so we're going to blow the rest of these covers off. Alright, got a nice pile of stainless, a few little pieces of aluminum, and all the covers are off. Weirdly, on this side, there are what look to be Teflon insulators that go around there. They're not on the other side. You think you can better see those jack screws now at this angle. Wasp nest, because of course, and ants. So, I think I'm gonna give this the another blast with the power washer, and then maybe we'll focus on, I don't know quite what I want to do yet. I think I'm going to try to get the rest of these stainless panels off, open all that up, and then maybe the end caps. So, power washing we go. Alright, so those covers are off. Something in there, not sure exactly what. Got a set screw here for some reason. Doesn't feel like there's one anywhere else. Doesn't really show me much. Say 50% of those little screws broke off. Nothing special there. So, yeah, I think I'm going to get the big guns and pop these end covers off and these support brackets. These have a pretty cool looking little lock. Let's figure that out. I'm assuming that's because you really don't want this coming apart if it's a 3,000 pounds of steel hanging 1,000 feet in the air. So we'll figure that out. Back in a few. Alright, well, I still couldn't quite figure out what that little lock did. I just broke the pin off and came off. 1.25 inch bolt and nut. I had 1.25 inch wrench, which was handy, and a pipe wrench. But you can see, maybe a little bit in there, that the slots there that I took off, those other covers, that's a spider to hold the thing centered again. And then we've got the end of whatever the hell rod that is. The transmitting element, I guess. Look at this thing. That's got to be 1/2 inch wall. This is heavy. Just that end cap had to be 25 pounds. So we're going to blow the other one off and go from there. Alright, got the other end cap off, and maybe I'm just a bigger pussy. This thing says 500. Doesn't say what that's pounds or kilograms though, but by God, this seems like more than 500 pounds. But we'll find out when I throw it out. But that's the dielectric antenna. Date 11/12/02. Chain 23, D23 C170 type, TFU. Anyway, alright, well, similar on this end, we've got that same spider, but you can also see this pin they've got in there. I'm thinking that this thing is assembled without these shells, and then they're fitted over the thing. So, that's my guess. That's my guess. I don't know how that's going to come out this way. But my guess is this is, I don't know what that's for. Maybe as an emergency in case something breaks to hold it in there so it doesn't shoot out the bottom. I don't know. So we're going to pull those cotter pins, get that out of there. And I guess then maybe we'll pull this elbow next, see what we got. Or maybe pull all of these support plugs and go from there. There's also a bunch of other things in here. I don't know what they are. There's quite a few of them. On the other side of that, I have no clue. They're metal of some sort. We will find out whether it's metallic. If it's aluminum or whatever, we'll scrap it properly. And go from there. I just love the lifting eyes on this thing. Are monstrous. Pretty nice looking welds. So, yeah, I guess we'll get an Allen wrench and pull that thing out too and see what we got. Alright, whatever the hell that is, doesn't want to come out, as you can see by the wrench. So, we're going to leave it for now. I guess we're going to pull all of the big plugs. Let's see if those happen to be 1¼ or bigger. Nice, they're all 1¼ Let's see. Whoa. Jesus. Okay. Wow. God. Oh. It's moving, but it ain't happy about it. So, we're gonna. I don't think I have an 1¼ socket. Kind of wish I did. And maybe I could impact those out, but we're gonna carry on and pull all these things. Chrome socket on an impact. Damn right. The only 1¼ I had. Yeah, those are just straight up galled. I was able to get all of the lock nuts loose, but that impact, it moved each one of them about a 1/16 of a turn. So it loosened it up a little bit, but then they are just stuck. So we're going to put the biggest stuff I have on it, or the heaviest duty, because that breaker bar was just tying into a pretzel. The 2 wrenches, you can't even touch it. So we're going to see what we can do here. We're going to see what we can do here. See what kind of a mess we can make with this. Ow! Damn it! Back in a minute. Alright, I need a bigger breaker bar. This is an old jack handle. Oh! Wow. That is something. Yeah, those aren't coming out. So, whatever the hell that is, they're going to stay right where they are. I'm going to crack them loose as best possible, and just to free up a little bit of room for when we pull this housing off. But yeah, they are in just about as good a shape as all of these. And no reason to break them off, because it's not going to amount to much. It looks like it's Teflon inside, so I don't think it's going to be that big a deal once we start taking it apart. But yeah, those buggers are stuck. Wow. That's impressive, because even just moving that first one a little bit, yeah, that was all my weight out at about 5 feet. And it had, that's 200 pounds at 5 feet, so 1,000 foot-pounds of torque or so, not even close. So we're going to get this thing back up on the block and loosen the rest of them. Alright, a couple of them came out. Yep. Just a insulated stud. some phenolic or something in there and a little Teflon boot on it. Just going in there and holding whatever that is centered up. And we'll find out. But yeah, the ones on the main beam are not even close. They moved like 40, 50 thousandths and around and just said, yeah, no, I'm good. But the fact that it's Teflon shouldn't restrict us from pulling this thing apart, I don't think. Oh, whew. Alright, looks like there's going to be some more spiders in here, so I'm going to blow these bolts out of here now. See what we got. There's some special white ones down here which I don't understand. I think those are actually plastic. Doing something. We'll find out. Alright, this compressor just shut off, so let's hit a couple of these again. This one was kind of moving. Alright, that's enough of that. Jeez. Those are serious. Alright, so now we'll blow these out of here. And then maybe we'll start taking the elbow apart. Alright, doing a few little magnet tests. Are you serious? No wonder it's galling. I thought that shit was galvanized carbon. That's stainless. Oh, man. Every bit of this thing is stainless. Okay. Oh, wow, no wonder they're galling. It's stainless on stainless. Duh, alright. Oh, that's exciting. Alright, the end caps, carbon steel. All of this junk. Yep. All of the hardware is carbon steel. Oh my goodness, this is stainless. That's even better. I don't even know what I have recycled so little stainless, I don't even know what that goes for per pound. I thought that was galvanized. Wow! Even better. More alloy. I love it. Okay, so now I guess we're going to focus on this copper thing. Put that back over there. This is the inlet for the ginormous 4-inch diameter coax. Wow, that whole thing is stainless. Man, that's even better than I thought. Holy smoke. Okay, so, but luckily these are nut and bolted, so we might have a shot at getting those off. They look to be about 9/16 or so. Alright, another pin there like it is on this guy, I guess for squaring it up. This is something. Wow, I didn't realize that was stainless. Man, that's cool. Even better. Alright, so we're going to blow that top elbow bolts loose and see what we got. Alright, thank God they're through holes, but the stainless bolts are all corroded straight up in that stainless flange. So they're being, the nuts came right off, luckily, but they are pretty bound up, so we're going to have to work out those last few because they aren't moving. Alright, well, with a little heat and an impact, I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of it, but these 3 that are underneath here, I can't get an impact on it. They are absolutely stuck. So we're going to do something I don't really like doing because I'm not very good at it. Put a glove on this time and hit that with the grinder, cut those heads off, and that should free them up, because it's only stuck in this stainless piece here. It's not stuck in the copper. So, all right, let's see what we got. All right, flange is off. Whoa. That is a lot of crap. Yeah, look at that. That is a coax connector. That is wild. O-ring didn't like my hack job. That is wild. All right, now maybe that these are exposed, we can drive those through. Look at that. That is exactly what that is. That is a giant copper elbow coax connector. Wild. Oh, okay, that's why that wouldn't come off, because this part of the flange is bolted. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's probably into the stainless too, so let's see if we can snap those off. And maybe get that bolt out of the center, whatever the hell that is. Drain some of this water. And see what else we got in there. Alright, well those came out remarkably easily. Get them over these studs. There we go. Beautiful. Another stainless. A couple pounds of copper. See what we got here. Another O-ring, more dirt. Teflon. These plugs are suspicious. I'm going to try to get a wedge in there and see if we can just... Well, actually I'm going to try to get that bolt out first, just in case that's holding that down, which it might be. So, back in a minute. Alright, so that bolt, this thing here, kind of pinned in place like that. That bolt was just holding that in. That's pretty heavy. Check that later. Now, that doesn't seem to have freed anything up on the outside. Alright, now I'm going to go get a bigger hammer and see if I can pound those, get these loose. Get those studs out of there to help us out. Alright, here's that other piece. Here's all of the corrosion. The studs. And that is, oh, that is so good. That is heavy. And I think that converts to copper right there. Neato. Alright, so looks like all we got left is to, well, at least at the next step, I don't know about all we got left, but the next step is to blow these flanges apart, which ought to be frickin' entertaining. Hopefully they come out rather than having to get cut. And yeah, see where we go from there. So I'm going to rearrange some of my blocks here. Probably slide one of those end caps on that end to weight it down. Put the concrete under here. Leave this suspended. And start knocking these bolts out. Be back in a few. Alright, well, they're coming out, but they are not happy about it. So I'm going to see if a little heat might help them, because yeah, it's still covered in all that corrosion garbage, the same stuff that galled all those up and stuck them. So yeah, should be fun. Alright, well, they're all seemingly out. Started opening a gap here. See, Okay, she's off. All right. Now what? I guess just pull. Yeah. Set this down and see what kind of a disaster we can make. Okay. Kind of free. Oh, absolutely. Bonk. Oh. Can't get a hold of it. Oh, those must be a wasp nest somewhere because he just showed up. Oh yeah. Oh, look at the ants. Yeah, that guy just showed up. There's a wasp nest in there somewhere. But yeah, these things here are snug on that copper. But yeah, I think all we got to do is, I may do is get the side-by-side, put a chain around this thing, and just take it for a rip. Drag her out. Oh yeah, look at the connector. That's pretty wild. It's just a big old coax connector. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Look at that. Another couple of set screws. Alright. Well, let's go get something destructive. Now this is more fun than the side-by-side. Find out why. Ah, I see why. Flip that guy over. I need two hands for this. Let's try that. Damn it. I think those stupid things are bound up. Yep. Alright. Gonna have to do a little thinking here. But I think we're tying it to that stump. Back in a few. Or you could use the broken air hammer to break the phenolic. See if that works. Jesus Christ. You got a little ways. What are you hanging up on now? Oh, what are you hanging up on now? Oh! Oh! That stupid spider. I see the flaw in my plan. Yep, that spider has hung up on these little tanky looking things. Okay, we gotta blow those off. Alright. Back in a few. Alright, I finally stepped in a fire ant's nest. So they're having their fun. Mothers. Alright. Yeah, I hung up on something. getting there though. What do we hung up on? Oh boy. Oh, I missed one. I missed one. I don't know if it's going to go through these things. We're going to see. There's the spider. Ah, hell, that's that big nut I should have taken off. Crap, forgot that step. Yeah. And it's all jammed up on whatever the hell those things are. There's a crap ton of these in here. I have no idea what that is. Okay. Shoot! Alright. Well, I think I'm going to pull this all the way back to where it was. And then pull that nut off. Yeah. Maybe the spider will come off and then this will come right out. Back in a minute. Alright. That should be the rest of the obstructions. That's it. Fantastic. Spider came off. Everybody's off. Beautiful. That is one big old hunk of copper. Like she's welded together a little bit there. Is that connection. Not quite sure how we're going to get that out of the T, but always got a Sawzall if we need it. So, I think now we're going to do something similar to the bolts on the other side. And get all the rest of this junk taken off of here, smash all those out. See if there's another screw that I missed on this end. Pop that off, and that should take the housings off. Yeah, I don't know what these things are. They don't feel like stainless. I think those are aluminum. I don't know, they ring like stainless. They're just pretty light. Put them in there. There's a bunch of them. Alright, I gotta take a break because it's getting hot. Be back. Alright, I think we got this end pretty much prepped. Got all the bolts off. Those came out a little better than the other side for whatever reason. Don't know. Those would have been the underside. I don't know. But broke out all of this stuff, pulled out all of the Teflon, took the cap off of this, so if the spider gets hung up it should just pull out. And I think we're going to rechain, hook it back up to the Jeep, and see what we can, see if we get that other post off. This one should be a little better now that I know what the order of operations needs to be. Yeah, it's transmission in gear, dummy. Okay. maybe not. Let's see what's hanging her up this time. Probably that damn spider. Yeah, it would seem to be. Yep, that slips off of there. So that's the only thing holding it. Yeah, I can hit that with the air hammer a little bit. Back in a minute. Of course, it got stuck like an 1/8 inch from the end, but a little bit of torch and a little bit of air hammer, she's off. Now it should come right out. How about now? There it is. There it is. Alright, well, that's not too heavy. That's still pretty good. I guess all the money's going to be in the stainless on this job. Still got a bunch of ants in there. That's a part. I guess we'll take those stupid things off, whatever they are, and then we'll probably figure out what we got to do to get this out of here. I'm thinking it's a connection like that, but I don't know if that just pulls apart or what. May end up doing a few other weird things, so we'll be back. Alright, pulled the set screws and the antennas came out. I got a pretty cool fitting on that end. This looks like it's been soldered. I don't think that's loose, because there's some stuff in there. That may have been done in place, but I'm gonna, since it's still full of ants, I'm gonna hit this piece with the pressure washer one more time, and maybe we'll see how we're going to attack that. Alright, since that is kind of sticking out in the breeze, now that I've pulled it up, I'll just put a little wrench on it. Try to give it a twist. Come on. Yeah, I think that's soldered down there. All we did was pull the center out of it. So, yeah, I think we're gonna end up having to cut that, because I don't see I mean, I see where it's put together, but I'm thinking that could be, I don't know, it doesn't look soldered, but I don't know. I think cutting it's going to be easiest, just to get it out of there. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm going to go find a saw, see what kind of a mess we can make. It would seem I picked the right place to cut. she was just, I guess, put on there. Some sort of a bolt in the middle. I guess that's all that was holding it. So, cool. Yeah. Yeah, she just, big hunk of copper. And the last piece of stainless. Loud noises. All right. There it is. The television antenna completely broken down into its parts. There's all a bunch of stainless, including that. That feels like an aluminum spacer. That does not feel as heavy as it should for stainless. Bunch of copper. We try to get the guts out of that elbow. The spiders are all copper, the flanges. This stuff not too heavy as it's hollow, but I would say easily 20 to 30 pounds each. That center stub, these two here, these are real heavy. Because I guess there was a solid block in there. But yeah, so that's going to do it. I'm going to clean this mess up. Get the next project off the trailer. Get this stuff loaded on the trailer to go to the scrapyard on Monday. And hope you're all having a good day. We will see you in the next one, I hope. Take care.